Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on around the world. Allow me a few seconds to get into my disclaimer. But like the videos, you guys come in. Don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and support the channel whenever you can. I appreciate you all for being here. Why did it say up and coming? Hold on one second. Hopefully it lets me in okay. YouTube is something else. Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Um, we're definitely trying to hit 50K. I appreciate all that have subscribed. I thank you all for doing that. So let me go ahead, get in here, hit my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you all. Like I said, we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's kind of going on around the world. Thanks for all right. So let's go ahead and get into this clip right here.
It's called the knockout. It looks, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. In about 2 years from now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people, and it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's the knockout paddle. It's called the knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now. A nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. In about 2 years from now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people. And it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's the knockout paddle. It's called the knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now. A nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years. And they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. In about 2 years from now.
So while people are dealing with the shutdown, he's showing off the White House, and many people are saying he doesn't want to answer questions because of what everything that's going on. And they're not monetizing when I say that name. So I got to be careful today. I sure do.
To give us an exclusive tour of the new White House renovations. Now, it was starting to get dark, it was late in the day, but we still got a good sense of how things will look, including the new ballroom. Now, warning, Democrat heads will explode in 3, 2, 1.
The new ballroom will go from here to there, and it'll seat a proper number of people, and the White House will finally have, after 150 years, the ballroom that they wanted. You know what? They've waited 150 years, and the public is paying for nothing. The public is paying for absolutely nothing. It's all being done by donors. All the way over to there, it'll be beautiful. One of the most beautiful in the world. Come on. Okay? You know, a lot of people don't know that. They don't say that there's no cost. That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
Now I'm going to show you. So this is the Presidential Walk of Fame.
Now, whose idea was
My
that?
idea. Everything's my idea.
Everything's your idea. Okay.
Sadly.
Who's that guy?
That's Barack Hussein Obama.
Okay.
This is Biden right here.
Wait a second. The
worst
profile of Biden.
So he's the worst president in the history of our country, and Barack Hussein Obama's top 5, meaning bad.
Are you going to replace that with his actual photo?
I don't think so. Look at the faces on these people. Those are serious faces, right?
Oh, that's for sure.
Every one of them's a tough cookie.
Do you think these will stay up after you've left off?
Well, I think they should. On the bottom here, this isn't what yet they're being made. We have a plaque that goes about, that describes in a couple of hundred words. Mm-hmm. Important, right?
Yeah, very important.
And they're beautiful, beautiful bronze plaques. Goes up under each picture describing. Look at the scene over here, fellas. Look, how beautiful is that? Come on over here, take a look.
This is the new Rose Garden. But
And now you can have news. That's the same stone as the White House. So now you can have news conferences. You can, nobody could stand in the mud.
where did you get the stone?
Different places.
Different places?
Yeah.
Why
But
was
I'll show you something. This is the equivalent of what I do with the ballroom. I built many ballrooms and many buildings, and that's my greatest strength. Actually, might as well do this. So this room was in terrible shape. This was done by Jackie Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy, Onassis, then Jackie Kennedy, I hope. And she took this area. It's called the popcorn. And here we had one by one little tiles of broken cheap out of a box. The walls weren't good. We took it. I restored it. I put in new chandeliers. They had lanterns that were terrible.
I remember this room.
Yeah, it was a nothing room.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment.
There was a seat, a bench right underneath there. Yeah.
To come to the Oval Office, you had to go through this room. It was an embarrassment. Okay?
Good morning, good morning.
And I took it down and rebuilt it, same as she had it, but at a much higher level. And take a look at the floor. Take a look at the marble. So this is called
It is really pretty.
statuette marble. But look at the bookending. Look at the book match. Look how it matches.
That's tough to do.
No, it's very tough. You don't get it. If it's an eighth of an inch off, it's no good.
Is that brass? The brass?
That's two brass strips. But even if you look at the air conditioner vent, it's book matched.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Who can do that? I can do that because I know that, it's even available that you can do that. Very few people can do it. So you take a vent that's supposed to be a piece of aluminum or steel, and the marble man said, I said, do you think you can book match your vent? He said, yeah, look at the other one over there, book match. But look at the quality of that job.
Where do you think you developed the attention to architectural detail? Like, at what age did you start realizing that's what you could do?
Yeah, I was involved with my father in building and all this stuff, and my father was a builder. So as a little boy, I'd be sitting there playing with blocks, I guess, and my father would be on the phone, I'd be listening, I guess. And, you listen. I had a father who was very good at building. He was very good at building things.
Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Good morning, good morning. Good afternoon to some. Like the video as you guys come in. Let's continue.
I'm Jesse Mitchell in New York. The U.S. government is now officially shut down, partially. Congressional leaders and President Donald Trump failed to reach a deal or pass a short-term funding bill that would have kept the government running. A shutdown could lead to the furlough and firing of a large number of federal workers. There are some deemed essential that will still work unpaid, such as active duty U.S. military service members, law enforcement agents, air traffic controllers, TSA officers, number of federal workers. There are some deemed essential that will.
Let me go back. That was dated October 1st. So it was still shut down then. Like
of America, black and brown communities all throughout America.
Like the video as y'all come in.
That in some cases will go up by $1,000 or $2,000. Hey everyone.
Like the video as y'all come in.
So, after more than 6 weeks of tension, missed paychecks, and nonstop political fighting, the government shutdown is finally ending. It's been the longest one in U.S. history, 42 days. And now that a deal's been reached, a lot of people are asking one question: what happens next? For millions of federal workers, families on food assistance, and travelers stuck in delays, the answer isn't as simple as everything goes back to normal. The truth is the road ahead might be uneven, and there are a few surprising things about what reopening actually means that most people don't know yet. So stay with me, because today we're breaking down what reopening looks like for regular Americans, what's changing immediately, and what challenges might still be waiting around the corner. Before we start, let me know in the comments, how has the shutdown affected you or someone you know? All right, so first off...
Yeah, let me know in the comments how it affected you and your family. Do you work as a federal worker? Do you work where it affected your food stamps or SNAP? Did they cut it off? Did you get some of your food stamps? Let me know in the comments.
Yes, the Senate finally passed the bill to reopen the government, 60 to 40. That vote only happened because 8 Democrats crossed over to support the Republican proposal. It was a controversial move, but one that finally broke the gridlock. A lot of people were fed up. You had nearly 1 million federal workers either furloughed or working without pay, families waiting on food benefits that were frozen, and airports running with skeleton crews. People were just tired. And here's what's interesting about the deal itself. It's not a permanent fix. The government is only funded until the end of January, so this could all technically happen again early next year if another fight breaks out. Still, the bill does provide some important short-term relief. It guarantees back pay for all federal workers and blocks any layoffs through January. That means about 1.4 million employees can finally start catching up on bills, rent, and groceries. For many of them, this has been over a month without income. Also, food assistance under SNAP, the program that helps over 40 million Americans, will now continue through fiscal 2026. That's a big deal. A lot of states were just days away from running out of funding. So for anyone relying on that support, it's at least some peace of mind. even if it came way too late. But, not everyone's happy with this outcome. Many Democrats feel they had to give up too much, especially on healthcare subsidies that are still set to expire for about 24 million Americans at the end of the year.
Let's get the likes up, you guys. We got one like. Let's get the likes up. The likes should match the views. To hit the like button, it's free, free, free. Please support the page by hitting like. Thank you. Hit the like button. Even if you have to backspace and hit the like button.
Can say they'll hold a separate vote on that later, but for now, it's basically been pushed aside. And President Trump has called this reopening a great victory, saying it proves his administration's commitment to opening up our country. Depending on who you ask, that statement either feels reassuring or a little bit hollow, given how much pain the shutdown caused along the way. Now, if you're wondering how quickly everything will get back to normal, the honest answer is not right away. Some agencies like defense and law enforcement will snap back quickly, but others like education, housing, and the FAA will take weeks, maybe months to fully recover. And speaking of the FAA, let's talk about air travel because this is one of the biggest ongoing problems. The shutdown created a shortage of around 3,000 air traffic controllers. Many were working extra hours without pay, and some just couldn't keep doing it. Airlines were told to reduce flights by up to 10% at major airports, which caused thousands of delays and cancellations. Even though the government's reopening now, the system can't just flip a switch and go back to normal. Experts say it could take until after the holidays for flight schedules to stabilize. That means, Thanksgiving travel might still be a mess. Transportation officials have already warned that staffing shortages will linger through the season. And honestly, this highlights how fragile some of our systems are when the government shuts down. Everything's connected, and when one piece falls behind, the rest does too. Another area hit hard has been national parks and museums. Most will reopen within a few days, but they're dealing with damaged property, backed up maintenance, and in some places, vandalism. Rangers and custodians are returning to weeks of cleanup work. And these aren't just tourist sites. Some of them fund local economies that depend on visitors. So the financial ripple effect goes way beyond just Washington. For those of you receiving Social Security or Medicare, your payments and benefits should continue as usual, but you might notice slower service or longer wait times for a little while. During the shutdown, customer service lines were understaffed, and those backlogs will take time to clear. So if you've been waiting on a replacement card or a benefit adjustment, just expect a little patience might still be needed. Now, let's talk about the politics for a second. Polls show that most Americans blamed Republicans for the shutdown, around 50% compared to 43% blaming Democrats. And with next year's midterm elections coming up, both sides are trying to spin the narrative. Democrats are saying this was proof of Republican mismanagement, especially on healthcare. Republicans, on the other hand, argue that the shutdown was necessary to get spending under control and to push for stronger fiscal discipline. But here's something worth thinking about. Even though the government's reopening, the pattern keeps repeating: temporary funding bills, political standoffs, and a lot of uncertainty for regular people who just want stability. It's like patching a leaky roof over and over instead of fixing the structure underneath. Each time it happens, confidence in the system erodes a little more. Now, some of you might be wondering, how much did all this cost? Economists estimate the shutdown drained billions from the economy and lost productivity. That includes missed paychecks, stalled contracts, and businesses that rely on government spending. It's not just numbers on a chart, either. It's the daycare worker who had fewer kids show up because parents couldn't afford tuition, or the restaurant near a federal building that had empty tables for weeks. Those stories are everywhere right now. And what's more, certain investigations and oversight efforts that were frozen during the shutdown are now kicking back into motion. One example that's been all over the news is the House Oversight Committee's investigation into Justice Department files on Jeffrey Epstein. That process was basically paused during the shutdown because DOJ. There's also been some attention on Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva from Arizona. Her swearing in was held up during the shutdown, which meant her vote couldn't count until now. But she's expected to be officially sworn in this week, and her seat actually matters a lot. She'll become the 218th vote that could trigger a discharge petition, basically forcing a vote in the House on releasing the Epstein files that so many people have been asking about.
I'm going to continue, and I'm going to see, even if his name is mentioned, will they still give me the green dollar sign or the yellow dollar sign? I'm going to continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Just pausing for a moment to share something important with you. We've partnered with Chapter, a service we feel confident recommending. The advocate team is there to support you.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
In 50 days, and they're already arguing over what comes next. Speaker Mike Johnson says it's time to reopen our country, but his leadership has been under pressure for keeping the House out of session so long. On the Senate side, figures like Susan Collins and Tim Kaine have described the deal as necessary but incomplete, saying it only addresses the surface of a much bigger problem. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you work in or with a federal agency, expect things to slowly return to normal over the next few weeks. Paychecks should start going out soon. If you're traveling, expect some lingering delays, but gradual improvement. If you rely on government assistance, most programs should stabilize now that funding is restored. But the big takeaway here is that this isn't a clean ending. It's more like a pause. And the next shutdown threat could happen in just a few months. Unless lawmakers agree on a longer-term budget, this same situation could repeat early next year. That uncertainty can make it hard for...
Please hit the like button. There's about 89 people in the building. Please backspace and hit the thumbs up. At least people can get through the holidays without stress and worry. You know what I mean? Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Families and businesses to plan ahead, especially those tied to federal contracts or seasonal programs. So yeah, that's where things stand for now. The government is reopening, paychecks are restarting, and the economy is trying to get back on its feet. But a lot of healing still needs to happen. What happens next depends on whether Washington learns from this or repeats it all over again in a few months. What do you think? Should there be laws that prevent future shutdowns like this altogether? Or do you think it's just part of how the system works? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. We've covered this as well. Try and make sure you have 3 to 6 months of savings. Try and make sure you have 3 to 6 months of savings. If you can have a year month of savings, that's great. Let's continue. Fair use.
In the longest government shutdown in American history. And the deal behind it has a lot of moving parts that most folks haven't really heard explained clearly yet. And, you know, what's interesting is that there's a small detail buried in this deal that most people would never expect. And it affects senators in a way that, well, let's just say I'll explain that part in a moment, because it definitely caught my attention. So yeah, stick with me, because this is one of those moments where understanding what's in the deal can actually help you make sense of what's coming next for federal workers. Healthcare costs, SNAP benefits, security funding, and even what this means for the next few months of political tension. Before we get deeper into everything, let me ask you something. When you hear government shutdown, what's the first thing you feel? Stress, frustration, confusion, maybe just exhaustion? Let me know down in the comments. All right, so let's talk about what just happened. President Trump has officially signed the deal to end this 43-day shutdown. And that's after the House voted 222 to 209 to approve the funding bill. That is pretty much as close to party line as it gets. What's more, this shutdown didn't just drag on, it completely froze things across the country, like air travel delays, closed parks and museums, stalled SNAP benefits, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers going weeks without pay. And all of it started because of one major disagreement over healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. Now, you might be wondering, how did something involving healthcare lead to all this chaos? Well, here's how people have been explaining it. Democrats wanted to extend the enhanced ACA subsidies that help more than 20 million Americans keep their insurance affordable. Republicans didn't want to extend those subsidies anymore because they said the expansions were from the COVID era and weren't meant to be permanent. And at first, President Trump hinted that he might support some kind of healthcare middle ground, but then the administration backed away and instead floated ideas like federal health accounts. The problem was no actual legislative text ever came out of those ideas. So when nothing moved forward and everything just kind of sat in place. And also, while all of this was going on, the administration started putting a lot of pressure on federal workers. There were layoffs, and there was even talk of possibly not giving back pay this time around, which is something that usually gets guaranteed after a shutdown ends. It created a lot of fear for families who were already struggling. So then, things stayed stuck until a small group of Senate Democrats decided to break from their party and join Republicans in moving a bill forward without the healthcare subsidy extension. That move upset a ton of people on their own side, but the argument was basically, look, families are hurting, federal workers are hurting, and we can't keep holding this hostage. It wasn't a popular choice, but it was the thing that actually broke the stalemate. And once that happened, the House took it up. 6 Democrats there voted with Republicans to pass it. On the Republican side, only 2 members voted against it. And after weeks of the House being in recess, suddenly there was a vote. It passed. President Trump signed it. And now, government doors are opening again. So now let's talk about what's actually in the deal, because there's a lot in here that affects everyday people. One of the biggest things is federal worker protections. The new law fully reverses all layoffs that happened during shutdown. That means every federal worker who lost their job because of the shutdown is getting reinstated. And every worker who was furloughed or working without pay is getting their back pay. That is a huge relief for families, especially folks who have been literally scraping by for over a month. And, you know, it's interesting because back pay has been a huge point of debate. In 2019, a Senate report found that shutdowns actually cost taxpayers over $300 million. And denying back pay was something some officials floated earlier, but now it's off the table. So the government will be fully funded through January 30th, 2026 for most federal operations. And some departments like agriculture, veterans programs, and military construction have their full year funding set. That gives at least a little bit of stability, even if it's temporary. Another important part is subsidy situation. The subsidies themselves were not extended in this deal, but Senate Republicans agreed to hold a vote in mid-December. Now, that doesn't promise anything will pass, and the House didn't agree to any vote at all, so it's still shaky. Millions of people might see their premiums rise in 2026 if nothing gets done. So if you rely on ACA coverage, this is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, remember earlier when I mentioned something in the bill that kind of catches you off guard? Here it is. There's a provision in the law that says senators can sue the federal government for $500,000 if their phone or digital communications were collected by investigators without prior notice. And this only applies to senators, not members of the House. It's retroactive to 2022, which is the same period that 8 Republican senators had their records seized during the special counsel investigation into the 2020 election. People from both parties called this out. Hakeem Jeffries called it a slush fund. Chip Roy said he couldn't understand how it even got in there. But both sides decided not to remove it, because doing that would have sent the bill back to the Senate and extended the shutdown. Speaker Johnson is saying he'll try to repeal that part next week, but for now, it stays. Speaking of unusual parts of the bill, there's another piece that boosts security funding for officials. It includes over $200 million for congressional security alone and additional funding for the Supreme Court and U.S. Marshals. This is in response to recent violence targeting public officials, like the attack on commentators.
There's about 209 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please hit the subscribe button. Let's get the likes up, you guys. To hit the like button is free. Free. Please double tap that screen, backspace, hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Thanks for watching. Let's continue.
Charlie Kirk. So there's a real concern right now about political violence increasing. There's also something in the bill that gives the District of Columbia more control over its own money again. Before this, D.C. had to stick to its 2024 budget numbers, which was creating a huge strain. Now, the city can use its updated budget and continue funding essential services. Residents and local leaders have been pressing hard for this change. And next, we have a pretty big shift regarding hemp products. The new law changes the definition of hemp so that products with more than 0.4 milligrams of THC per container, or anything with synthetic cannabinoids like Delta-8, will be banned starting next year. This is going to hit those gummies and vape product scene in convenience stores and online. Lawmakers in Kentucky were split, which makes sense since hemp is a major industry there. Rand Paul wanted the ban removed, but Mitch McConnell said the ban was important to keep intoxicating products off the market. Another part of the deal revised the Wedgetail E-7 radar jet program. The Pentagon wanted to cancel it, saying it wasn't going to be survivable in modern warfare, but Congress put $400 million into keeping it alive. They're saying it's better to keep working on the jet while space-based radar systems are still years away. So yeah, you can see this is more than just a quick funding bill. It's basically a mix of temporary...
I started All Nation Restoration.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. There's about 119 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching. Continue to get the likes up, everyone. To hit the like button, it supports the page and it puts us and keeps us in the algorithm. Thanks for being here. I'm just waiting for the commercial to go past. Like the video as you guys come in.
It's basically a mix of temporary... Just pausing for a moment to share something important with you. We've partnered with Chapter, a service we feel confident. 391937 or visit askchapter.org/money. How things end.
Let's continue.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said the shutdown allowed cruelty by letting services stall and pushing federal workers into financial harm. The White House, meanwhile, said Democrats were responsible for the damage and blamed them for prolonging the shutdown. So, yes, even with the government open, things are still tense in Washington. Now, something people keep asking in the comments is, okay, what happens next? And the truth is the next big fight is coming in December over those ACA subsidy votes. If nothing changes, healthcare premiums will rise for millions in 2026. That is a huge deal. An illegal payout provision for senators is definitely not going away quietly. You'll probably see a lot of debate on that in the next couple of weeks. And of course, another funding deadline is coming up in January. And unless both sides really want to avoid repeating all of this, they're going to have to negotiate again. You see, these shutdowns don't just lives. They freeze paychecks, services, travel, food assistance, and even data that economists need to understand how things are going. And when it drags on this long, it kind of shows how fragile these negotiations can be. So what does all this mean for you? Well, if you're a federal worker, back pay is coming. If you rely on SNAP, things should start stabilizing again. If you're watching healthcare premiums, keep an eye on December. And honestly, if you're just a regular person trying to get through the month, this is one of those moments that reminds us how decisions in Washington hit home in really real ways. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you feel like this deal solves the problem, or does it just pause it? I think a lot of people are feeling both relief and frustration, and those feelings...
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here.
Funding bill. They needed 60 votes to pass it. The vote was 60 to 40, enough to get it through the Senate. 52 Republicans voted in favor, and 8 Democrats voted in favor. So the bill is now advancing to the House of Representatives, and Speaker of the House, Johnson, has called back the House of Representatives to vote on the bill. The bill is expected to be voted on sometime this week, most likely tomorrow, on Wednesday, and it is expected
could get solved.
It was already voted on. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Will people get that $2,000 as well? They were talking about air traffic controllers were able to, some of them were able to get a $10,000 check. I did a short regarding that. I did do a short regarding that. Like the videos you guys come in. Like the videos you guys come in. Let's continue with hot topics, trending topics, and what's going on around the world. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Let's continue. It's been, that one's too low. Hold on one second.
To reopen the government after the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally, from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today, we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort, the Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when...
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. There's about 236 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Let's continue.
One or the other party ever didn't sign.
Let's get the likes up, you guys. We have 10 likes and 236 in the building. The likes should match the views. Please double tap the screen and backspace. Thumbs up the video, please.
A continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Who frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broadcast.
We did cover those emails, but instead of them putting ads on my videos, they're limiting my videos when I talk about that subject. So I'm wondering if I talk about this, if I'm going to get a green arrow or a yellow arrow. Whenever I talk about that, they limit my ads.
Of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. They look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again. And don't forget, we have another date coming up in the not-too-distant future. We can never let this happen again, and we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the different markets. We set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this record set. So think of that, 48 times we had a record set, but today is the highest of them all. We're going to break new grounds. Nobody would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me and right really alongside of me. And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them. In fact, I just asked them that question. None of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs and, very importantly, to 401ks, which have also set a record today, a record high for the people that have 401ks. And also, I want to thank Walmart because they came up with a fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden. And we're 25% lower this year than we were a year ago.
Okay, so I will show y'all this, that they're trying to say that Target is going to be smashing prices. Do you believe that, yes or no? Just showing you guys this so that way if you need to shop for your family, it's being reported that Target's going to smash prices on everyday foods. Let me know if you shop at Target, if you notice a difference this week or next week. That's what they're, and that they announced that their Thanksgiving meal should be $5 per person. So let's see. Double check it in your area, see if your prices have gone up or have gone down. We'll see what happens in regards to Target. But let's continue. I'm going to play this and then I'll continue to play that. I'll play this.
About 2 years from now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people. And it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's the knockout paddle. It's called the knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now. A nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. In about 2 years from now.
So let's continue. So let me know next week or the week after if you notice prices going down from Target. That was an announcement. Let me see what the time frame was. That was an 18 hours ago. And maybe Target just want people to get into their stores because you feel that, remember how he was mentioning Walmart in regards to their basket deal. Maybe this is Target just saying, hey, look at us. We may slash prices, shop here, because it's almost year end for everybody. November, December, they want their stock to go up. So let's continue. Fair use. Let me know. Let's continue with the news.
And it's a very inclusive report. So I want to thank Walmart. They've done it for many years, but we believe in that. We believe in that company.
See, he's constantly mentioning Walmart, and Target's like, what about us? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end this craziness, this madness. But unfortunately, the vast majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point. And that didn't work out too well for them. But they really went out. They could appease the fringe benefits of their far-left base. But that didn't work out because now their far-left base is angrier than ever before. We actually elected a mayor of New York City who happens to be a communist. When was that going to happen? Remember I said all the time during my campaign, we will never be a socialist country. And that's right. We turned out to have a communist in New York City. And if you look at his views, those are the views of a communist, not a socialist. So this is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again and end the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again. So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon versus...
Let me know what your gas price is where you are. Most areas are at $2.80, $2.99. I've seen some places at like $3.20. Let me know what your gas prices are in the comments.
$4.70 for the Democrats, and we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut. It's the equivalent of that. And speaking of tax cuts, our great, big, beautiful bill is giving everybody in our economy, middle income workers, low income.
Okay, DC 310, let me know in the comments what your gas price is. That's about the same pretty much for everyone. Some of the gas places are a little cheaper in areas. In the other areas, kind of downtown areas, they're somewhat a little bit higher. Let me know what your gas prices are in the comments. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. And also hit the like button, and thank you.
Everybody.
Welcome to your love story.
Now commercial. Yeah, please hit the like and please support the channel by subscribing. Let's continue. Fair use. And let me also know, is that your gas price, $4.59? Let me know if your grocery prices are high, and also if your coffee has gone up. Thanks for being here. $4.67, that's high.
The biggest tax cut in the history of our country, and it's no tax
$1.99, that's
no
good.
Tax on Social Security, and very importantly, no tax on overtime. You work overtime, there's no tax. That's among the things that add up to the biggest tax cut in history. And one other thing, you hear about rich people with deductions. Well, when you buy your car and you borrow money, you're allowed to now deduct the interest on that loan. So you can take that.
Nick, it's $5.19 where you're at? Oh my goodness. Why is he saying most places are $2? Like the video as you guys come in. Let's continue.
Interest deduction, and what you can take is that interest payment and deduct it for income tax purposes. That's a tremendous tax cut right there. But it all includes fixing the healthcare system that Democrats broke with the disaster known as Obamacare. Obamacare was a disaster from day one. It's done nothing but go up. And if you remember President Barack Hussein Obama, when he came up with this crazy idea, he said everything's going to be great. Rates are going to go down. Payments are going to go down. Everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. Their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And
he loves shading Barack Obama and Biden. He loves to shade them. Let's continue. Fair use. There's about 261 in the building. Please hit subscribe, you guys. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please hit subscribe and thank you. And turn on your notifications. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Go out and you'll buy your own health insurance, and you'll negotiate different plans, and you'll get much better insurance, and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with healthcare. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own healthcare, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness. So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you.
Gas $3.69 in Arizona. That's high. Like the video. Like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Yeah, everyone's gas price. I don't know why he's saying that it's down to $2 and it's not. But take care of yourselves, you guys. Take care of your families. I know it's not easy for a lot. Some of the grocery prices are skyrocketing. I did see a post that he's trying to hold on one second. I'm gonna show you guys. I do try and pay attention to what I see so I can. It's being reported that Cardi B has given birth to her fourth child. I'm gonna put that in there. So everyone's saying she's a mother of four now. She did give birth to Stephon Diggs' child. But I also saw something in regards to right here, Trump administration to cut tariffs on coffee, alleged, and bananas. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if that happens, if this really happens. But yeah, I was watching a video. A lady was talking about her coffee in a big old container. Used to be like 12.69, 12.80. Now it's up to like $16 for that same tub of coffee she got 4 or 5 months ago. So everything has gone up. Remember the little packs of the little coffee? There's like six of them, and it used to be like $1.25. They're like $1.69 now. So a lot of stuff has gone up. So we'll see if there's price cuts. We'll see. I mean, people need to do something. Thank goodness they did reopen because that would have been a struggle for families. For Thanksgiving, some of these people are trying to get to their parents because they work so much. They need to be able to travel to see their parents, their families, whatever. So hopefully traveling gets a little bit better for people, but just be safe. Make sure you pay all your bills before you go out of town. I did hear somebody say that. Make sure you pay all your bills before you get out of town, and allow a day to get back, so that way if you got to go to work the next day, make sure you can get back on time. Because even though they paid some of those people, air traffic controllers, $10,000, some of those people, he had said if you took time off, he's not going to give them money. So some of those people did get a check. I did a short regarding that. The air traffic controllers did get a check, and there was a press conference regarding that. But be safe as y'all travel. Make sure all y'all bills is paid before you go. Make sure you got cash on hand. Make sure you take care of your passport. Make sure you take care of your ID. And then they are saying if you travel, take on carry-ons, so that way you don't have to wait for your luggage. But you guys, I'm tired. It's been a long week. My lunch is sitting right here, but I've been live for 42 minutes. I wanted to eat it, but I didn't want to hear y'all smack. I didn't want y'all to hear me smacking in the background. So I've been trying to eat my lunch, but it's here and I'm ready to eat. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm tired. I got some business taken care of. I have some other stuff I need to take care of, but I'm right here with my lunch and I am ready to eat. So I'm wishing everyone well. Take care of your family. Love on your parents. Love on your loved ones. Try when this is all said and done. Try and make sure you have 3 to 6 months savings because there's no telling what these people are going to do and how it's going to keep affecting different family members and different things like that. So wishing everyone well. If you're new, welcome. And thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. There's about 80 people in the building. If you did not hit subscribe, please hit subscribe. Even if all 80 hit subscribe, that'll be an amazing day for me. Like I said, we're trying to hit 50K by next month. Thanks for being here, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Love on your loved ones. Love on your loved ones. Check on your parents. The winter time is coming. Make sure you have everything winterized on a nice day. Where we're at is decent, but the winter time is coming. So make sure you have all the supplies you need to get through this winter time. And we'll go over and see if things go cheaper for Target. I'm really not a Target shopper. Where my Targets are at, they're kind of far, and I'm not really interested in driving that far to go to Target. But they used to have great deals back in the day, but I'm not a real Target shopper. So, but let me know if you notice a change in Target this month, next month. We'll see. Maybe, like I said, now that he's kind of mentioning Walmart, Target's probably like, what about us? So we'll see if this coffee and bananas and other things go down. These tariffs are something else, and the prices have gone up. We've noticed it. Me and my friend were just talking about one of the local restaurants. We can get a decent deal for like $6. Now it's almost like 9. So a lot of stuff is going up. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Love on yourself, love on your family, and just let your children know that this too shall pass, and they just have to be patient. Try and start shopping small stuff right now for the holidays. If you have younger children, catch things on sale, go to the sale racks, do whatever you can now so the holiday the children don't really notice it. But if you start shopping little by little, $20 here, $20 there, then that way for the Christmas the kids won't really notice a difference. But take care of yourself. What is that? 10.99 for ice cream? Where are you shopping at? Well, a lot of times, if I want ice cream, I go to this one place where they have ice cream two for a price of one, or you get two for $8.99, or two for $6.99. And then there's Aldi's too, you guys. Shop Aldi's. Aldi's are popping up everywhere. Their prices are pretty decent. I haven't checked their coffee prices at Aldi's though, but there's Aldi's popping up everywhere. Yeah. My, Myers is not too bad. Some of their stuff is pretty reasonable, but yeah, I hope everyone, and I don't know, has have everyone been able to get their full benefits on their EBT cards? Let me know in the comments. Did you get partial benefits on your EBT, or did you get full benefits? I'm wondering about that. And shout out to Paris. I don't think she's in the comments, but shout out to Paris. She's my one and only mod. Shout out to Paris. And I do have to send her a message as well, but I didn't want to send it too early. So thanks for being here, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an amazing weekend. I'm going to get some rest, take care of some business, do what I have to do. But weekends, I definitely try and relax. I might try and go live tomorrow, probably around 10, 11, or 12. It just depends. If I don't go live on weekends, it pushes me kind of out of the algorithm. Some people can go live like twice a week and they do pretty decent numbers. But once you go live almost every day, it almost wants you to go live every day. So my weekends, I kind of have to schedule it, you know. Yeah, yeah. Lots going on in regards to these tariffs. But thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye. Be blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you.